Good morning.
Good morning.
So I want to start with a joke. Hold on to your seat. I know, right? I'm hoping. Okay, so some of you might have heard it because I actually have used this once before, but it's been a few years ago. And I got this from Joel Osteen, so I want to give him credit for it. So there's a thief that's broken into this house, and he's scoping out the electronics. And he hears, "Jesus is watching you. Jesus is watching you." And he's like, "Oh my God." And he's like, starts shining his light around. He goes, "Who is that? Who is that?" And he hears, "Moses, Moses, here." So his flashlight finally finds a bird in a cage. And he goes, "Who in the heck names a bird Moses?" And he said, "The same one that names a Rottweiler Jesus." So, I do not know who the hero is in that story, but that's what we're going to talk about today. Is we're going to talk about heroes. All right? And yes, I'm as shocked as you are. It came to me, and I'm like, I always just try to follow it as it comes. So, as you grew up, did you have some heroes? Think back. Who were your heroes? Were they famous sports? Were they actors and actresses? Were they maybe somebody from history, alive or present? You know, JFK, Martin Luther King, maybe soldiers and leaders, or maybe straight from the comics, Superman, Batman, the Hulk. You would not believe who came to my mind when I was doing this. Do you guys remember the Bionic Man and Woman?
Yes.
I was like, oh gosh. I just heard about that, just so you all know. No, I'm just joking, I was there. Okay, or maybe you were lucky enough to have some family. Some aunts, uncles, grandparents maybe that you looked up to. And why did you look up to them, right? Because they had some sort of characteristics, talents, accomplishments that you admired. Now, sometimes we would think of them as above us because they were heroes, right? Kind of up on that pedestal outside of us. So I have a question for you now, and I want you to feel your response. Not just what your response is, I want you to feel what your body, your knee-jerk reaction. Because I have an opinion of who I think the greatest hero is and who they are, and I want to know what you guys think. Because I think the greatest hero is you. You are the greatest hero that you know. So how does that feel? See, I got heart, yes, head shaking, not me, no way. Do you scoff? Do you laugh? Do you shy away from it? You know, I'm not special, whatever it is. But what I want you to think about, even if you agreed, I want you to think about, why not? You're a good person. You have good qualities. You have worth. You are deserving. And I hear people say, but I'm not perfect. I have flaws. Well, guess what? Every one of the people that I mentioned above, and I bet everybody that you thought of as your hero at the beginning, has flaws and faults. Think about it. History people, they were humans. I'm sure they lost their temper. Who knows? Maybe they're slobs at home. Maybe they were disrespectful or hurt someone. They had to have. They're just humans. Superman has his kryptonite. He has his weakness. Not to mention, he has to live a life of deception. He can't even tell people who he is. Neither can Batman. He's like a rich socialite or something, but he has to lie about who he is. So I want us to think a little bit broader about what a hero could possibly be. So Elijah and I were doing some work, and like we always usually do at the end of it, we start playing with the computer, got a little distracted, and he's like really trying to bring me around to AI, because he has fun with AI. And he says, ask it any question you want. Well, I was already down this hero path, so I started asking it about a hero. I was actually intrigued by a few of the definitions that it gave me. The first one was, defines a person admired for courage, outstanding achievement, or noble qualities. So my question is what you think is outstanding is the same thing that you think is outstanding. So same thing with, courage and whatever. So it really didn't put any parameters or limitations on it, did it? Because what you think is important could be just as important as what you do. The two things that I thought was cool is they gave a classic hero and a modern hero. The classic is who we pretty much know, refers to courageous actions, dangerous, difficult, or something for the greater good. This is where we're going to find our first responders, our firefighters, our ambulance, our law enforcement, soldiers. Although I did read a story the other day that this pizza delivery guy saw smoke coming out of somebody's house, stopped and saved some kids. Yeah. Please, God, don't ever ask me to run into a burning building. You know, I'm just serious. I'm just like, that is amazing to me, you know. So that's our typical one. But the modern one is what I thought was really cool because the world has evolved. We have evolved. So I'm glad they broadened this out to say, this is a person who makes a positive impact, not necessarily through physical danger or difficulty. Their bravery comes through selflessness, integrity, dedication, and commitment. These are people that in some way, shape, or form help or impact the community. They are real, they are authentic, they are you. They are you. So, as I was doing this, I just kept, in my heart, just kept coming the same thing, that God values the humble, everyday actions of love and patience and kindness just as much as the great deeds. And to me, these people are everyday people. Everyday people. Now, this was fun, and I did not think it was a coincidence, so I had to throw it in here. Out of this playing around, the apostles came up. Yeah, right? I did the same thing. I'm like, I think this is important. So, okay, so as I was reading, I kind of had to laugh because here's the group of people that is supposed to be Jesus' inner circle that he is personally picked to lead, go forth, and share his message. Matthew was a criminal, corrupt tax collector. Peter was a fisherman that denied him 3 times. That's moral corruption. We got Judas that sold him for 30 silver pieces, a little bit more moral corruption. But what I want us to do is what Rumi says. Be a witness, not a judge. Focus on yourself, not the other. Listen to your heart, not the crowd. And the reason for that is because everyday heroes have oftentimes endured really dark, difficult things. And they are faced with things like addiction and failure, and maybe even criminal actions, maybe even heartbreak, abuse, trauma, loss. And who hasn't been touched by that? But when that happens, we're always presented with a choice. Do we collapse into it and live as a victim? Or listen to this, or do we gain emotional sensitivity and spiritual depth? I think, honestly, what very much plays a part in which direction we go is the story we not only tell ourselves, but other people. Think about the energy that we're putting out there. As I mentioned, there's nobody in this room that hasn't been a victim of something in some way, shape, or time, or whatever. Everybody has been. But when you tell your story, or you share your story, you know, what comes across is it, I've had all these bad breaks. Nobody deserved this. This was horrible. Poor me. Is that what the energy you want people or yourself putting out there? Think about that. And we all have to be careful because it's real easy to slip into that, isn't it? However, we all have tough breaks. Been there, done that. But you know what? I'm here. I am here today. So I have gotten through whatever I've been faced with so far. I might be working on some issues because of it. I might be, you know, challenged by certain things, but I think I'm doing all right. Is that the energy you'd like people and yourself to be putting out to the universe? So think about the story that you're telling, because Again, I do not want to minimize the pain or the suffering or how challenging it is to go through the process of healing. This can be really tough. But I know you guys have heard this before. It's not the cards you dealt, it's how you play them. And that's a reality. Now, every time something comes into our lives, we have a choice. Do we tear it down or build it up? And you know what? There's not an easy answer there. It could depend on the situation. Now, no matter which direction we go, we hope our goal is to be positive, to be at peace, to keep our energy level and high and our vibration high. But heroes don't necessarily always say yes. Not at all. In fact, saying no could be one of the most courageous things you do. Because I know you guys have seen and heard this, because if it costs you your peace, it is too expensive. So, I'm working on this and I'm getting better at it. But I have been on way too many sinking ships for way too long. And that's not what I want to do anymore. So it's about deciding, what do we do? So Eckhart Tolle says, sometimes letting go is an act of far greater power than defending or hanging on. Sometimes the bravest and most courageous thing you can do is walk away from things. And when do we do that for ourselves? Throwing something in here, because I think sometimes we think that being a hero is always being like light and fluffy. So think about Archangel Michael. He's about justice. He's about protection. Have you almost never seen him? I mean, he's always, when he's depicted, he's often depicted with a sword, with armor. You know, he's not floating around on a cloud eating grapes. Absolutely not. So he is an example for us. Sometimes you gotta stand up for yourself. That's right. And so, again, something popped into my head when I was doing this. It was a long time ago, and I was in a meeting in children's services, and my toxic, unhealthy mother was there and dictating the meeting as she normally did. One of the supervisors raised her hand, and she said, "Miss, I'm going to need you to shut up." I want you to know, the fact that I didn't fall out of my chair and that just my chin dropped was it. You know who was my hero after that? Yes.
Yeah.
She stood up for me. She made the craziness stop for a few moments, and I'm just like, whoa. So don't ever think, you just never know when your act, whether it is something like that or it's just something kind, all of it matters. And I don't want you to, I always try to be positive about things. I really am that kind of person, but I also don't want to sugarcoat. This is not easy. I pray that we all have the courage and the bravery to stop the patterns that no longer serve us, to let go of the things that are no longer working for us in our best interest, to become the sovereign beings that the divine made and created us to be every minute of every day. This may or may not lose you people, places, and things. This is the reality of it. But what I will tell you is that life will become lighter. Life will become easier in certain ways when you understand that your job is not to be here to control other people, how they think, feel, or act. Not our job. But what your job is to stay rooted in who you truly are. You are the divine incarnate. You are the greatest power there is in physical form. Embrace it and act from a place of integrity. And if you do anything else, stay devoted to your own evolution. Okay? Let go of anything you don't need to be controlling or carrying. Some things are just too heavy. Because Polly even said it the other day, that we are the light. We are the light, and we are here to anchor that light in some of the most densest places there are. That's us. In every breath we take, in every step we make, in every smile we share and offer. When you're doing your work, to rewire your brain, to rewire your nervous system, to reorganize the programming that we've been given. When you're doing that, you are radiating out frequency that opens hearts, starting with your own. So don't ever doubt the power of your mere presence. Even if you're just silent, just being is more than what you even imagine when you have your frequency and energy. So I want you to be the hero of your own story. Be real, be authentic. Stand up when you need to, walk away when you need to. Love yourself so that you can love others easier. Respect yourself so you can respect others. Think of yourself as sacred so that you find the people that think you're sacred too. Appreciate who you are at a soul level so that you attract the people that can appreciate your soul as well. And this starts right here, by you being the hero of your own story. Namaste.